The love and hip-hop universe just got rocked. Yandi has dropped bombshell receipts exposing Ciara's secret ties to Mendeecees. And it's tearing everything apart. What started as whispers about Ciara's sudden split has spiraled into full-blown chaos. And now Yandy's explosive revelations might be the final nail in her marriage. Fans are stunned, alliances are crumbling, and nobody saw this twist coming. The love and hip-hop world has seen its fair share of betrayal and scandal. But nothing could have prepared fans for the chaos that erupted this week. Yandy Smith-Harris, usually known as one of the most composed and business-minded women on the show, has completely shattered that image by dropping a bombshell no one saw coming. In a jaw-dropping twist, she has accused Ciara Gates of secretly having a romantic involvement with none other than Yandy's own husband. Mendeecees Harris, and the fallout is already shaking the entire franchise to its core. It all began with whispers that Ciara was going through a rough patch in her marriage. For months, eagle-eyed fans noticed her Instagram page slowly transforming. The once frequent photos with her husband, Eric Whitehead, quietly vanished from her feed. Then came a cryptic post that sent fans spiraling, a black screen with white letters that simply read, "I can't keep pretending. I deserve peace." At first, fans assumed Ciara was just venting about stress or business issues. But insiders knew something deeper was brewing. According to sources close to production, Ciara and Eric had been quietly living apart for several weeks, and filming had become increasingly tense between them. No one, however, could have predicted the name that would soon be dragged into the drama: Mendeecees Harris. The spark came during filming of a group scene for the upcoming season of Love and Hip Hop, Atlanta. Cast members were gathered for a supposed girls' night event. And everything was going smoothly until a producer mentioned Ciara's rumored divorce. That's when Yandi, who had been unusually quiet all night, suddenly spoke up and the room went silent. According to multiple eyewitnesses on set, Yandi calmly set her drink down, looked straight at Ciara, and said, "Are you really gonna keep pretending nothing ever happened between you and my husband?" The entire room froze. Cameras allegedly kept rolling as Ciara's face drained of color. Several castmates reportedly gasped out loud. At first, Ciara tried to laugh it off, claiming Yandi was delusional and trying to start mess. But Yandi didn't back down. She pulled out her phone and, according to insiders, showed the group a series of screenshots and voice notes that allegedly proved Ciara had been secretly communicating with Mendeecees behind her back. What made the moment even more explosive was the tone of Yandy's voice. This wasn't a dramatic outburst or a typical reality TV-style screamfest. Witnesses say she was calm, collected, almost eerily composed, which somehow made the accusation hit even harder. She wasn't yelling, she wasn't crying. She just dropped it like a bomb, one crew member revealed. That's how you knew it was serious. Yandi doesn't play about her marriage. Within hours of filming wrapping, the story had leaked to several gossip blogs. At first, fans were skeptical. Yandi and Mendeecees have long portrayed themselves as one of the most solid couples in the franchise, surviving his years-long prison sentence and reuniting stronger than ever. But as more details trickled out, the internet started to buzz with theories. Bloggers claimed the alleged messages Yandi showed included flirty DMs and late-night meeting arrangements. One even claimed to have seen a blurred screen grab of a message from Ciara that read, "Wish you were here instead of her." Neither Yandi nor Ciara initially commented publicly, but fans flooded their social media pages demanding answers. Ciara posted a photo of herself smiling in a luxury car with the caption, "Unbothered," which only fueled suspicions. Yandi, on the other hand, went radio silent until she finally broke her silence in a now-viral Instagram Live, appearing visibly composed but with a sharp edge in her voice. Yandi addressed the rumors head-on. "People think I don't see what's being said. I see it. And I'm not going to protect people who tried to destroy my family. I gave grace. I stayed quiet. But when you smile in my face and try to play big sister while sneaking behind my back, that's when the grace runs out." She never said Ciara's name outright, But everyone knew exactly who she was talking about. The timing, the context, the tone. It was unmistakable. The reaction was instant. Comment sections lit up with shock and disbelief. Some fans defended Yandi, saying she had always carried herself with integrity and wouldn't make such a bold claim without proof. Others doubted her, suggesting this might be a storyline for ratings. But what truly sent the internet into meltdown was what came next. Within an hour of Yandy's live ending, Sierra's husband Eric broke his silence, and his post only added more fuel to the fire. In a long emotional caption posted to his Instagram story, Eric confirmed that he and Sierra were officially separating, saying, "Sometimes love isn't enough. I tried. I gave my all. But I refuse to be made a fool of anymore. Some things can't be forgiven." Though he didn't mention Mendeecees, fans immediately connected the dots. To them, this wasn't just about marital issues. This was confirmation that Sierra's alleged secret had played a role in the breakdown of her marriage. The fallout was brutal. Bloggers began digging into Sierra's past interactions with Mendeecees. Old footage resurfaced from a charity event months ago where the two were seen laughing and whispering in a corner. And fans started reposting it with captions like "the signs were there." And she really played in Yandy's face. Meanwhile, Mendeecees himself remained eerily quiet. Usually quick to post about family life or business ventures, he hadn't said a word, not even a cryptic quote. This silence only made people more suspicious. Behind the scenes, production sources say the show's crew has gone into full crisis mode. The alleged affair storyline has thrown filming schedules into chaos. According to one insider, producers are scrambling to decide how much of the real drama they can legally show without risking defamation lawsuits. Especially if Yandy's alleged evidence isn't ironclad. But for Yandy, this doesn't seem like a stunt. In fact, sources say she's deeply hurt, not just by the alleged betrayal, but by how many people are questioning her motives. "She doesn't do fake drama," said one friend close to her. "Yandy's always been about family and building her brand. For her to go public with this, it means she's done protecting people. And if the whispers are true, Yandi isn't done revealing things either. Rumors are swirling that she has even more damning evidence that she hasn't shown the public yet. And that if Sierra keeps denying the affair, she's prepared to release it." Right now, the cast is said to be completely divided. Some are rallying behind Yandi, saying Sierra crossed an unforgivable line. Others are defending Sierra, saying the entire situation is being blown out of proportion. But one thing everyone agrees on: this bombshell has completely destroyed the peace within the love and hip-hop circle. Fans are already calling this the most shocking betrayal in the show's history. And if Yandi actually releases the alleged receipts, things could spiral far beyond reality TV drama as the cameras kept rolling. The tension between Yandi and Sierra reached a boiling point. What had started as whispers and subtle shade had now erupted into a full-scale confrontation, leaving the entire love and hip-hop set buzzing. Yandi sat with her arms crossed, eyes piercing into Sierra like daggers, while Sierra tried to keep her composure. But the cracks in her confident exterior were beginning to show, and everyone could see it. And everyone could see it. Producers had initially tried to brush off the drama, assuming it was just another petty disagreement. But Yandy's sudden decision to bring Mendeecees' name into the conversation changed everything. "Tell them the truth, Sierra," Yandi said, her voice sharp and icy. "Tell them how you were sneaking around with my husband behind my back." Gasps echoed across the room. Several cast members instinctively covered their mouths, while others whipped out their phones, hoping to capture the chaos on camera before security stepped in. Sierra's face flushed bright red. She stammered, That's not what happened. Yandi, you're twisting everything." Yandi wasn't backing down. She stood up, towering over Sierra. "Oh, I'm twisting things. So the messages, the late-night hotel receipts, the photos he thought he deleted from his phone, those were fake. Because I saw everything, Sierra. Don't you dare stand here and act innocent." At that moment, it was like the air had been sucked out of the room. Even the producers who usually thrived on drama seemed caught off guard. This wasn't your usual LHH-style manufactured argument. This was raw, real, and personal. Yandy wasn't performing for the cameras. She was furious and she was out for blood. Sierra, realizing she was cornered, tried to spin the narrative. She insisted that what happened between her and Mendeecees was a misunderstanding and claimed that he had pursued her. Not the other way around. "I didn't want to hurt you, Yandy," Sierra said, tears welling up. "We were going through a rough patch, and he came to me for advice. It just got complicated." But that only seemed to make things worse. Yandy exploded again. "Complicated? You call sleeping with someone's husband complicated? You were supposed to be my friend. You were at my baby shower, at my wedding events, and the whole time you were plotting behind my back." The crowd erupted in chatter, some siding with Yandy, others skeptical of her claims. But Yandy wasn't done. She whipped out her phone and, to everyone's shock, played a voice recording. Mendeecees' voice filled the room, low, guilty, and unmistakable. "I don't know how to tell Yandy," he said in the clip. "Sierra said she won't say anything if I just cut it off clean." The room went dead silent. Sierra froze in her seat, her eyes darting around in panic. Her mouth opened, but no words came out. She knew it was over. Whatever damage control she thought she could do was now impossible. The truth, or at least a version of it, was out. Yandy, breathing heavily, turned to the producers. "This is why I wanted this filmed. Because I'm done protecting people who don't protect me. I've held this in for months while people called me crazy. But now, you all know." Several crew members quickly jumped into action, trying to calm the situation before it spiraled further. Security stood by just in case things turned physical. Sierra sat trembling, still trying to mutter something about being set up and this isn't what it looks like. But her voice was drowned out by the chaos around her. Backstage, Mendeecees had been watching from the monitors, his face ashen. When the producers finally convinced Yandy to step off set and cool down, Mendeecees walked over to her. The cameras followed them into a quiet hallway where Yandy spun around to face him, tears brimming in her eyes. "I can't believe you let her get this close to us," she whispered, her voice shaking. "Everything we built. And you just threw it away." Mendeecees tried to explain. He claimed the relationship with Sierra had never gone all the way and that it had been an emotional mistake during a time when he and Yandy were distant. "It was never serious, Yandy. I was stupid. I was lonely." "That's it," he said, voice low. "It didn't mean anything." But Yandy wasn't buying it. "It meant enough for you to lie to me. It meant enough for her to think she could flaunt it." Her voice cracked. "Do you know how humiliated I feel right now? You made me look like a fool." Meanwhile, inside the main room, Sierra had stormed off the set. Her makeup smudged from tears. She locked herself in her dressing room and refused to come out. Her phone was blowing up with texts, cast members, bloggers, and even her own family demanding answers. Word about Yandy's revelation had already leaked to the blogs, and within minutes, hashtags like #SierraExposed and #Mendeecees mess were trending on Twitter. Erica Mena, always ready to stir the pot, posted a shady Instagram story that read, "Some people's karma is finally showing up in HD." Fans flooded her comments asking if she was referring to Sierra. But she didn't respond, just posted another video of herself laughing with a glass of wine. The fallout was instant. Sponsors who had been working with Sierra on a beauty collaboration began to quietly distance themselves. And fans started demanding that VH1 remove her from the show entirely. Some even began tagging Yandy in posts, praising her for standing up for herself and finally exposing the snakes around her. But not everyone was Team Yandy. A few skeptical fans pointed out that if Yandy had known about the affair for months, she might have waited to drop this bomb on camera just for maximum impact. One fan tweeted, "This whole thing feels like a setup. Yandy Ben knew but waited until cameras were rolling." Another wrote, "Something about this feels staged." But if it's true, Sierra is done. Back in the hallway, Yandy was struggling to keep her emotions in check. She told Mendeecees she didn't know if she could forgive him, and that for the first time in their marriage, she was genuinely considering walking away. Mendeecees, visibly shaken, begged her not to give up on them. "We can get through this," he said. "We've survived worse." But Yandi just shook her head. "This isn't prison time or money problems, Mendeecees. This is betrayal. This is my heart." By now, the producers had regrouped and were trying to figure out how to handle the situation from a production standpoint. The footage was explosive, exactly the kind of drama that brings ratings. But it also risked blowing up the entire cast dynamic if Yandi decided to quit. They quietly pulled Mendeecees aside and warned him to get ahead of the story before it spread any further. As the crew wrapped up filming for the night, Yandi walked out of the studio without another word. Mendeecees tried to follow her, but she got into her car and drove off, leaving him standing there in the parking lot alone, staring after her with a look of pure regret. The scandal had started as whispers, but now it had become a roaring wildfire. And for Yandi, Sierra, and Mendeecees, nothing would ever be the same again. The morning after the explosive confrontation, the internet was ablaze. Every major gossip blog had splashed the drama across their front pages. Headlines screamed, "Yandi exposes Sierra's secret affair with Mendeecees," and "Love and Hip-Hop Meltdown, Friendship Destroyed on Camera." Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok were flooded with reaction videos, memes, and hot takes. Some fans were gleefully dissecting the voice recording Yandy had played, while others were already digging into Sierra's old posts for clues about the alleged affair. Yandy hadn't posted anything since storming out of the studio. She'd gone completely radio silent, which only fueled more speculation. Meanwhile, Sierra broke her silence just hours later, going live on Instagram from what looked like her bedroom. Her face was swollen from crying, her voice hoarse and shaking. Over 40,000 people tuned in instantly. "I can't believe I even have to do this," Sierra began, clutching her phone. "First of all, I want to say I am not a homewrecker. I never set out to hurt Yandi. I loved her like a sister. What happened between me and Mendeecees it was a mistake, a moment of weakness. But it wasn't what she's making it out to be." The comments section exploded. Some viewers sent heart emojis and messages of support, while others tore her apart, accusing her of lying and trying to play the victim. Sierra pressed on, tears sliding down her face. "Mendeecees told me he and Yandi were basically done. He said they were just co-parenting. I would never have crossed that line if I knew they were still trying to make it work. He lied to me too. It was a calculated move, shifting part of the blame onto Mendeecees, and it worked, at least partially." The narrative on social media began to split. Some fans said Sierra had been manipulated, while others doubled down, calling her a snake who betrayed her friend. But the most damning response came from Yandi herself, a cryptic post on her Instagram story just 1 hour later. It was a simple black screen with white text. "Don't gaslight me. You knew. Don't gaslight me. You knew." That single sentence sent shockwaves through the fandom. People immediately screenshotted and started tagging blogs. The shade was undeniable, and it confirmed that Yandi wasn't buying Sierra's excuses. But what made it even more shocking was that Yandi still hadn't addressed Mendeecees publicly. Not a word, not a post, nothing. Fans were starting to question if she was done with him completely. Meanwhile, Mendeecees was in damage control mode. Paparazzi caught him leaving a meeting with his publicist, looking exhausted and disheveled. When a reporter shouted, "Did you cheat on Yandi with Sierra?" he tried to brush it off, muttering, "It's complicated," before ducking into his car. The footage went viral instantly. One fan tweeted, "He really said it's complicated, like this is Facebook in 2008. Another wrote, "Bro can't even lie with confidence." Privately, Mendeecees had been trying to contact Yandi nonstop. He sent her long text messages, voice notes, even showed up at her office unannounced, but she refused to see him. Insiders claimed she'd moved out of their shared home and was staying at a friend's place with the kids while she decided what to do next. People close to her told blogs that she was completely broken and feeling betrayed on every level. Producers from Love and Hip Hop were panicking. This storyline had potential to be the biggest of the season, but not if Yandi quit. They scheduled an emergency meeting and begged her to sit down on camera and tell her side of the story. Initially, she refused, but after days of silence, she finally agreed. On one condition, she wanted complete control over how her segment was edited. They reluctantly agreed. When Yandi finally returned to filming, it was clear she had reached a breaking point. Sitting on a plush chair in front of the cameras, she spoke with calm precision, but her eyes betrayed how deeply hurt she still was. "I gave that man everything," she said softly. "I held him down through prison, through every struggle, through every lie the world told about him. And for what? So he could go behind my back with someone I called my sister." Her voice cracked slightly, but she pushed through. "I'm not angry anymore. I'm done." There's a difference. Producers sat in stunned silence as she removed her wedding ring on camera and placed it gently on the table in front of her. "I can't teach my daughter to respect herself if I keep letting her watch me accept disrespect," Yandi said. "So I'm choosing me this time." When the segment aired a week later, it broke the internet. Fans flooded Yandi's comments with messages of support, calling her brave, a queen, and the definition of strength. The hashtag Yandi deserves better trended for days. Sierra, on the other hand, saw her reputation tank even further. Brands dropped her. She quietly disabled her comments after receiving thousands of hate messages. But the drama didn't stop there. In an unexpected twist, Mendeecees released a statement on his Instagram, finally addressing the scandal directly. It read, "I want to publicly apologize to my wife Yandi for the pain I've caused her. I take full accountability for my actions. I made choices that hurt the person who has always stood by me, and I'll regret that forever. I also want to apologize to my family, our kids, and anyone who has supported our marriage. I will be taking time away from the show to focus on my mental health and becoming a better man." Reactions were mixed. Some fans said it was too little too late, while others applauded him for finally owning up to the truth. But for Yandi, it seemed like closure. She reposted nothing, said nothing, and simply carried on with her life, attending events, launching new business projects, and smiling for the cameras. It was clear she had moved on behind the scenes. However, things were still messy. Sierra tried one last attempt at reconciliation. She reached out to Yandi privately, begging to meet and talk, promising to do anything to make things right. Yandi didn't respond. According to insiders, Yandi had told mutual friends that she never wanted to see Sierra again. On or off camera, the show's producers eventually decided to write Sierra out of the season for the time being, citing mental health concerns. It was a thinly veiled way of saying they didn't want the backlash tanking ratings. With Sierra gone, the cast dynamic shifted dramatically, and Yandi emerged as the clear fan favorite again. Even cast members who had once clashed with her publicly rallied behind her, posting supportive messages and appearing with her at charity events. In the final scene of the season, Yandi was shown walking down a Manhattan street, sunglasses on, holding her daughter's hand. The voiceover said simply, "Sometimes walking away isn't giving up, it's leveling up." That single moment sent fans into a frenzy. It wasn't loud, it wasn't dramatic, it was powerful. Yandi had gone from betrayed to unstoppable in just a few weeks, and the audience couldn't get enough. Meanwhile, Sierra vanished from social media completely, and Mendeecees remained largely silent except for occasional co-parenting photos with the kids. For now, the storm had passed, but the scars would linger. The betrayal, the fallout, the public humiliation, it had all changed Yandi forever. But instead of breaking her, it forged her into something stronger. And the message she sent was crystal clear. She would never allow anyone, not even the man she once loved, to destroy her peace again. And just like that, the truth is out. Yandi walked away from the wreckage with her head held high, while Sierra and Mendeecees are left to face the fallout of their own chaos. But now, it's your turn, do you think? Yandi made the right decision, cutting ties completely. Or should she have given Mendeecees and Sierra a chance to explain themselves? Was this betrayal unforgivable? Or just another messy love and hip-hop moment gone too far? Drop your thoughts in the comments below and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss another explosive update. Trust me, the next twist is already brewing, and it's going to be even wilder.